2023 was a very exciting year for board games, but now we're looking ahead to the 10 games we're looking forward to most in 2024.
Hi, I'm Libby, this is Julian, and together we are BoxedMeeples. Yes, we're well into 2024 now, and there's going to be loads of super exciting board games coming up. And we thought that we would run down 10 that have really caught our eye between us. There's 10 between us that we've had a little discussion as who gets what, which has been slightly difficult at times.
We've chosen 5 each, which you think what we know most about or is more interesting for us.
Yeah.
But we do have a few honourable mentions we're going to mention first, and these are honourable mentions solely because we've already talked about them.
Yes, I've spoken quite a bit about Unconscious Mind by Fantasia Games. I saw it at Essen in 2022. I think I'd already backed it.
I think so, yeah.
Potentially. So I think it probably was on my most anticipated list last year. We've certainly talked about it throughout the year. Still super excited for it to arrive. Cannot wait, but not on this list. That doesn't mean I'm any less excited about it.
Well, a game I'm looking forward to is actually Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs. And I did talk about this in the games you can play on the train because I've worked through Gloom Holding, this is kind of like a revamped, updated, more polished version of that, and that's going to be coming released really, really soon. So have talked about that. So that is not on my list. But shall we go through what is on our list? Do you want to go first?
Sure. Okay, let's go. I'm going to start pretty high for me. I mean, this game is on the back of a game that made it into my top 10. If you haven't seen me rave about Dwellings of Eldervale, then do go and check out our top 10 games of all time that we did earlier this month, and you will find Dwellings of Eldervale on there. I adore that game. That's obviously got that more fantasy theme with the sort of dragons and different things like that, and you're putting those cute little hats on your meeples, give them the dwellings, but I love the different elements of gameplay within that, the way you have to use your cards, the way you're going up tracks. There's so much stuff going on. You're getting to do stuff even when you draw your meeples back. Brilliant. And now this is like the 2.0 and it's set in space. Could I get any more excited? I mean, I've started high. This the production looks brilliant. The production for Dwellings of Eldervale was amazing, so I can only expect more of the same in terms of that. I've seen the cute little ships and things. Beyond excited to see how this one turns out.
I mean, take Dwellings of Eldervale plus space sounds like a win to me.
Yes.
My first choice is Old King's Crown. Now, this is a game I saw at the UK Games Expo last year.
Yes.
And when I saw it, I said this.
Certain games just kind of blow you away. Designed by 4 people, looks as incredible as so many of the games you're seeing in the bigger halls designed by a team of amazing artists and game designers. This is a game you're going to want to have in your collection. A fantastic kind of deck builder, card management game with amazing art.
I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so good. I remember playing that game, coming to see you and going, this is a game that's really, really good. It looks amazing. And then it blew up on Kickstarter. Everyone got behind it.
You were raving about it. I was working, so didn't get a chance to sort of sit down or play or anything. And it's definitely one of the ones that you sort of took home that stayed in your mind, I would say, for sure.
So I'm really keen to get a chance to play that.
Yeah.
It's quite a fun game. It feels a bit like a kind of a Game of Thrones style game. The king is dead. We need a new king. And it's basically playing your cards down in strategic ways over various seasons to gather resources for future turns, win battles in various areas, and ideally cripple your opponents while you're trying to do to ultimately become the king.
Excellent.
And what is amazing is, as I said when I was there, it's made by such a small team, but it looks incredible. The card art particularly looks amazing. Kind of got that Inish kind of vibe to it.
Right, I love that look.
So it is definitely one, if you haven't already backed it on Kickstarter, you definitely want to keep an eye out for, because I think this is going to be a well, it's not much of a sleeper hit, but it's kind of it's a game not enough people are talking about, because I think this by the end of the year is going to be on lots of people's top 10s of the year.
Yeah, it looks incredible. I can't wait to give that one a try. Now, you saw Old King's Crown at UK Games Expo, and next on my list, I actually got a sneak peek, sort of look at it at Essen. I didn't get to sit down and play at all, but they did have several of the games out there, and they were showing people Floe, which is Pika game. So it's kind of like the little baby publisher from Fantasia Games, who have done Endless Winter. They're doing Unconscious Mind. I mean, incredible. And I think that what I hear about Pika is that they're slightly lighter games, but Floe seems to have so much going on still, that it's really grabbed my interest. I mean, the setting and those kind of iceberg hopping around, you're kind of fulfilling different contracts, going into caves, defeating monsters. You've got to make sure you keep your belly full and stay warm enough, or you've got to go home so you can eat some noodle soup when you go into town. I mean, the artwork on it looks amazing, and it just seems like there's so many options of like worker placement and movement and doing all these different actions. There's some lovely little cards that I've seen. So yeah, I am super keen to know more and more about that one. I'm really excited about how that comes out. And we have Endless Winter, really enjoyed that. As we said at the beginning, Unconscious Mind can't wait for, and I did playtest that at Essen previous year.
Gosh, was it?
Which was incredible. So just the kind of the quality of games that are coming out of Fantasia, Pika, I think just right up my street. So yeah, cannot wait for that one.
I really enjoyed the game Wild Serengeti.
Yes, great meeples.
Yes. Well, Bad Comet are known for their screen printed wooden meeples, and obviously since then there's been the Amazonia one.
Yes.
But now we're going into fantasy realms and taking all of the kind of mechanisms that have been established in those two games, amalgamating them, introducing new ideas, and you're getting wondrous creatures. Now, based on those two games, I know I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in it for the creature meeples alone, let alone any of the gameplay or anything else. I'm just like, what amazing creatures are we going to have on these fantastic meeples?
It's one of those games I've shied away from kickstarting games for various reasons, but it's one of those ones I really was so tempted to, because having extra of those wooden meeples.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got so many wooden meeples for a while in Serengeti, we can't even close the box comfortably. But yeah, they've got such a good kind of proven track record that I know I'm going to enjoy this. I don't know a huge amount about the actual turn structure or the mechanisms that are within the game, but I'm just basing it kind of on trust, because I have enjoyed their previous games. So it seems logical to do that. And I think having the kind of reins taken off and having the creative imagination to kind of do anything you want to do with these wondrous creatures is going to be liberating. It's going to allow it to move in different directions where it's not tied to obviously having to be in a very specific setting. And I can't quite wait to see what the end result's going to be.
Yeah, it looks great. The box art looks just so appealing to me. So I don't know much about the sort of mechanisms that are going to be into that one. I haven't seen too much at the minute, but I'm definitely looking forward to table that.
Certainly on my radar. I'm keen to find out more.
100%. So next up on my list, I'm surprised I've actually managed to get it onto my list rather than your list. Bit of a tussle. If you've seen our top 50 games, you'll know that we both really love leader games, and Root is particularly one of our favourites. In fact, it's Julian's number one game. And I think that leader games do that asymmetry that we love in games so well. They're sort of the leading force to asymmetry in my mind, and having those different sort of clan powers or breed powers, whatever it is in the different games. And obviously Root does that exceptionally well. We played Ahoy recently, which was really fantastic. Really enjoyed a game of sharks. And put all of that great stuff and then put that in a space setting. We're going all the way back.
Theme here.
Yeah.
Take a game you love, stick it in space.
And I might like it even more than I already do. I mean, I do like a variety of themes and settings and things, and I'm sure that it's not a reskin. There's going to be new stuff going on. There's going to be exciting things, but that core idea that knowing how well leader games do asymmetry and what you can do with those different things, sending out all your spaceships and trying to sort of see if you can conquer the galaxies could be pretty interesting stuff to me. So I cannot wait to hear and see more of that one. I thought originally it was going to be a 3-player.
That's why I didn't back it on Kickstarter, because when we first looked at it, it was only 3 and 4 players, and I thought, well, that's going to limit us into how often we can play it, particularly at that time.
Yeah.
Now we've got a kind of dedicated game group, I would be less worried about it being. But I don't know if that's now the case where it's 2 to 4 now, according to BGG.
Yeah, according to BGG, it does say from 2 to 4, and some of the more recent box pictures I've seen, you can see it says 2 to 4 on there. So I don't know if they've taken some of those concepts of hirelings and things that you have in Root and how to make that work and included that in. I'm just guesstimating here, but it's great that it does start at that 2-player count, because it just makes it a little bit more playable for us and sort of more regularly, which is
and it has
great.
That unique kind of leader style of that Cephalofair in art. It always looks tremendous, and I think, as I was saying before, having that kind of proven track record is always very, very appealing for a game.
Yeah.
We played the game Destinies, and I kind of really enjoyed the kind of app mechanics of all of that.
Yes.
However, I wasn't really interested in the theme or the art of all of that. If you've seen our top 50, a game I really, really loved was Detective City of Angels.
Yes.
So, take that theme, style of gameplay, merge it with the app-based games of Destinies, and you get a game I'm going to love called The Dark Water. Now, obviously, this is set in 1980s in New Orleans, but you're going about solving crimes, trying to deduce who done it, what's going on in this spooky, spooky town, using app-based mechanisms. So it's been a kind of fusion of Van Ryder games, of Lucky Duck games.
Chronicles of Crime.
And so it has those elements of Chronicles of Crime fused in there as well, which is a game I also really enjoy. Just looking at the kind of raw ingredients, I can't see how this isn't going to be right up my street.
It's got your name all over it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does. Like the art, the period, the combining of styles. You know, it's as if someone went, right, let's see if we can make a game that's perfect for Julian. Tick, 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 tick. And here we are.
Yeah.
So no wonder you're excited.
Yes. Another one I kind of nearly backed on Kickstarter, but didn't. I'm kind of kicking myself a little bit now in case I've missed out on some of the kind of exclusive Kickstarter stuff that's going to... But from the looks of it, what I've been enjoying with Detective is playing solo through the cases.
Yeah.
And obviously this being app-driven does seem to lend itself perfectly to solo games. And obviously Van Ryder games have a history of making a superb series of solo games with Final Girl. So I can't see how this isn't going to be everything I want it to be. Obviously, games like this depend on the strength of their stories, but like I said so many times, they've got a proven track record, so that's going to be encouraging me to invest in this game. Really looking forward to it, and I can't see how this isn't going to be perfect for me.
No, it's going to be great. I can see that already ending up in your top 50 next year. Next up for me is another game with asymmetry, and this one's also got some cute woodland creatures in it. But this is Defenders of the Wild, and you are playing as one of the clans of the woodland creatures, and they have some different powers. There are ones that are sort of a bit more sort of magician, sorcery, ones that have probably more warlike characteristics to play with, and you're basically all trying to defend the woodland against these robots that are coming in, these sort of mechs that are invading. So we're kind of imagining Scythe and Root merging together.
Fusion of Scythe and Root
with these
perfect.
mechs coming in, and the woodland warriors getting out there.
I think
and
having
charging for it. Yeah.
having an asymmetrical cooperative game sounds intriguing, because
Yeah.
obviously when you have asymmetry in the games we've played, Root, Villainous, it's competitive.
Yeah.
So having a clan, a group where you've got your own unique skills, it almost feels a bit like a dungeon crawler, a role playing game where you have to go, okay, I'm really good at doing that, so let me go and deal with that bit.
Yeah.
You're good at doing that,
Yeah.
so you do that, and let's hope this all works out.
Yeah, and let's just pray that that horrible mech doesn't come out next time, and I think that we'll be able to get through it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the puzzle of all that works. How you're trying to I think you're trying to put out a certain number of villages and not let them take over a certain number of places on the map. So you've kind of got this cooperative area control situation going on, whilst you're also probably getting enough resources to build out the villages. So a lot of combinations of things happening, I think, from what I've read about it. Cute art, looks very kind of like children's fairy tale book. Like, I think the look of the characters looks fun. I like the fact that the nasty robots are all sort of in grey and kind of like, and everything else is really nice and colourful. Yeah, it looks super fun. I'm very much intrigued in that one.
One of my stand-up moments when we played board games ever was when we went through playing through Sleeping Gods together, and we played it. We had a dedicated time of talking about it, something I've talked about in the top 50, so have a watch on that. But we absolutely loved Sleeping Gods.
We did.
And I'm actually keen to go through that campaign again and reach a conclusion.
Yeah, I feel there's so much of that world we haven't seen yet.
We've probably seen at most 30%, I think, of it.
Yeah.
So we've got at least one more playthrough of entirely new stuff. But once we've done that, I want on our shelf Distant Skies. Because if it just has as strong a story as Sleeping Gods, with maybe a few tweaks to make the gameplay more smooth, so we've got less fiddly bits, which I didn't really find a big issue, but if they can just make it a little bit more streamlined, it gets the adventuring quicker, I'm all for that. But just having on the shelf another adventure in that world, using those mechanisms, and with that rich story, means I have to get Distant Skies when it comes out.
Yeah, I kind of think, I know that we do want to play Sleeping Gods again. So if this comes out in 2024, will we table it in 2024? I mean, we might, but we've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a wedding coming up and all sorts of things to be organising. So chances are we might not.
No, but I'm happy for it just to sit there. To know we have
it's ready to play when we can dedicate the time, because when we played Sleeping Gods, we were playing it every evening, some evenings till sort of 2 a.m. because you just can't stop. It's like we'll just take one more turn each, and then something epic happens, and you're just, we just got to see what happens at the end of this. And it continues and continues, like you're watching the most amazing new series on Netflix. You just keep on going. And so we do need to have a nice run of evenings where we can do that. We can leave it out on the coffee table, so that's not a problem. But we'll get through that first, and then we're ready to get the new one.
Ready to get Distant Sky, but I want it.
Yes.
I need it in our collection.
Yeah.
And we even got Primeval Peril to work through as well. So we've got lots of kind of Red Raven games. And I know there's another Red Raven game coming out this year, Caravan.
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
And I'm intrigued to find out more, because for me, I've always felt the appeal of the Red Raven games is that story. So although we have enjoyed playing like Klondike Rush and playing Islebound, I miss the story.
Yeah, I think I gravitate towards those slightly more because you come from that video gamer background, so the story element I really, really enjoy. But I think I enjoy the ones without that adventure.
Yeah, the more the self-contained ones where you can play 2 hours and you have a conclusion. So yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on Creature Caravan and see if that's got mechanisms and gameplay that appeal to us. We know the art is going to be superb because they always are with Red Raven games. But yeah, Distant Skies at some point is going to get purchased in 2024.
Yeah. So interested in both.
Even
Distant
if it doesn't.
Skies picked it to the post out for the two of them.
Yes, because I know how much I love Sleeping Gods, and I want to safeguard having that story. So one day I can go, let's take that off the shelf and play it. It might be in 20 years' time, but at least I have it.
It won't. It will be 2 weeks after we get it. You know it will. I love the idea of this theme in a board game. I mean, a rock band in a board game just seems like such a great theme to have, something a bit different that I think the cover art sort of really pops.
Certainly something on the cover does.
I mean, but it's Rock Hard 1977, so we're going back to those late 70s.
You love that kind of music.
Yeah, I'm
love
all over that. Yeah,
70s era rock.
yeah. Well, I need guitars and a drum, and I'm all over it. But this game's designed by Jackie Fox, who was actually in the Runaways, and they were out probably on tour and doing all sorts of things in 1977.
Rocking hard.
So, designing this game, she really knows what she's talking about, doesn't she? A very clever lady. She's won Jeopardy and all sorts of things. So obviously a very keen board gamer and knows how to put everything together. But you're playing these sort of fledgling band trying to make it. So you're trying to go out on tour. You're trying to get a new #1. You're doing all of these things, and that just sounds super exciting to me. And like it'll be so much fun around the table. I saw a little glimpse of some parts of it whilst at Essen, and it looks to me like they've got like amp dials, and everyone I talk to about it is like, I hope it goes to 11. And so it just things like, I mean, Devir have brought out so many great games in the last couple of years, and so that attention to detail is surely going to be there as well. Their meeples are always fantastic. Games like Potoku,
like Mosa looks great on the table.
Exactly.
Jerusalem looks great on the table. You know that.
Great meeples in that as well. Yeah. So you know that the production quality is going to be fantastic, and adding in that theme and the fun and life of that is just super exciting. I think it's going to be a Gen Con release.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking late summer.
Long time to wait. That's not fair.
But yeah, we can all have our summer party rock band groups. Yeah.
Rock on.
Rock hard.
I love cheese. I really love cheese.
You're obsessed with cheese.
I love cheese. So a board game based on cheese.
Yes.
That has a rotating board. That's almost like a wheel of cheese. And it's got worker placement. We've established that's my favourite game mechanism. And simultaneous worker placement. So gonna go fast. Yes, Fromage.
Yes,
is something I'm really excited, because I also hear it's got the aging process.
Yeah,
so you age your cheese, which is a mechanism I really enjoy in distilled. So we are taking bits and bobs from everywhere, chucking them in a game, and hurrah! It's another one that seems to be tailor-made for me.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to get that game and organise a fondue night.
Theme night, lots of cheese.
But I hear that as it rotates, you're placing out, and I might be wrong, you're placing out, and then it turns, and you're placing doing stuff in the quadrant that's next to you each time. So and that's kind of a little bit Zolkany in terms of the cogs.
It's like Planet Unknown with a rotating board.
Yes,
and, how that rotates and how you can be strategic about what you're going to place where, knowing it's going to go on to the next player.
Yeah, and I like that idea that you're kind of planning of when they're coming back to you, when they're going out, what you really need. Have you forgotten something? Most probably, yes. The cheddar. For you, the camembert.
Oh, a nice Stilton in there. Oh, some Gorgonzola. So many good cheeses. But I went to great lengths to build up Edam.
So I was going to keep listing cheeses.
I went to great lengths to get everything I needed to play the cheese expansion in Viticulture.
You did.
So yeah, I've been crying out for a cheese-based game. I even got your cheese quiz night game.
You did. And of course we have First Rat, which has those cheese things. The moon's made of cheese in that one. So we do have a history of cheese games.
Yeah.
And then this would be the king of cheese games. Yeah.
It would be the cherry on the cheese. like a cherry based Stilton.
Do you mean a cranberry?
That'll work.
Yeah. Okay.
We can't have any sort of charcuterie. Cheese. I love cheese. Anyway,
Okay, very
on that
cheesy.
cheesy note, that's the end of our countdown of 10 games we are looking forward to most in 2024.
Yeah. Of course, there's going to be loads more. These are just the ones that we happen to have seen and researched recently. We've gone through some lists on BGG and things like that. And these are some of the ones that have been there that have caught our eye. There'll be more announcements. We've probably missed stuff. Make sure you do tell us, because we're very much be interested in the thing that's caught your eye that we haven't mentioned, because just in case we haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be so many games that get announced at various conventions that are coming up, and obviously towards the end of the year we get a big flurry of games with Essen. So yeah, there's going to be lots more on the horizon, and even whittling down to 10 for this list was tricky.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year of gaming.
Basically, not enough publishers are putting cheese in their games, so that won't go on this. But like I said, do let us know in the comments down below what we have missed. And if you're new to the channel, we post a board game video at least twice a week.
We do indeed.
Right here on YouTube. So if that's your kind of thing, do consider subscribing, liking the video, ringing the bell, all of that fun YouTube stuff.
Jazz. And obviously you can't buy any of these games just yet, but if you are interested in buying board games, we do recommend that you use your friendly local game store. For us here in the southeast of England, it's Chaos Cards, and if you do order online with them, then we do put a discount code in the description so you can get a few pennies off at the checkout. Do make sure you look at our latest video whenever you're trying to use that, because they do run out of date and then they renew them. So check the codes and make sure you've got the up-to-date one. And
if you've used a previous code, there's a new code. Feel free to use that, because it's one use per customer, but that's why we recycle the codes. You can always keep on top of that.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you so much for watching.
Bye.